I love that song. I love the Doobie Brothers. It reminds me of summertime. I don't know why, but...
Isn't that Justin Trudeau's favorite group?
I have no idea. Last time he and I spoke, I don't know what
Doobie Brothers, Stephanie. Doobie Brothers.
Sorry, I'm not following you at all.
Great.
I get it. I'm with you, man. I got you.
That has to do with marijuana legislature. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, got it. Thank you. Ding, finally checking in. You're listening to Life Unrehearsed. I'm Stephanie Erickson, who is clearly behind the conversation here with my co-host, Matt Del Vecchio. In studio, we have with us physiotherapist with Physio en route, Corey Wolofsky. Right before we went to traffic, I was asking you a question from a text that came in, and I'm going to go back to it, Corey. Somebody wrote, I have arthritis in my knees. What can I do to alleviate the stiffness and pain? Especially, I find stairs are the worst. That actually sounds like it's my mother-in-law, except she doesn't text. But that actually sounds very much like her difficulty. Any suggestions, Corey?
Well, I mean, stairs are definitely the worst because as you're going up, the knees take the most of the impact. We talked about weight management before, and it's interesting. Losing 1 pound of body weight will take 4 pounds of pressure off of the knees. So,
amazing.
Going back to the weight management just for a second, but that's definitely one thing. So if there is a weight issue there, losing some weight can definitely help the knees, especially, going up the stairs, which increases the pressure on the knees. But in general, what we look at as physiotherapists is we want to look at what is your range of motion, what is your limitation, and there are specific range of motion exercises and stretching exercises which you can start to do to try and build up. And the key is finding a good balance. You don't want to do too much where you irritate and create swelling, but you don't want to not move at all. You want to make sure that you don't get into that loop of stiffness. So it's important to keep moving. What we usually do as physiotherapists, because arthritis, the lining of the cartilage thins down so that the space in the joint is a little bit more narrow, we're going to also use some traction on the joint to try and create some space. So some things what we'll do is we'll, literally pull your leg and maybe have you sit with a weight to just kind of add some traction. But then the other thing that's super helpful is something as simple as using a heating pad. Putting a heating pad helps to kind of relax everything and get circulation going and remove some of that inflammation. So those are two things. And then the other thing I sometimes recommend, if it's really bad and you need to get out of that pain for a little bit, is try taking a cane to take some of the pressure off of that knee or off the leg that's giving you problems. Any assisting walking device can help, take some of that pressure off of the knee, and that's kind of my go-to advice for people with knee problems.
Excellent advice. This is Life Unrehearsed. You're listening to Corey Wolofsky, who's given us some advice on arthritis and how to deal with the management of arthritis. You could call in at 514-790-0800 if you'd like to call in for Corey, or text us at 514-800, and we're going to get right to another text. Corey, please ask about my blocked cracking knees. I guess we hear a lot of cracking knees, ankles, elbows, and is this a sign of future problems?
Well, not all body sounds are worrisome. Every time I bend down, my knees crack, and it could be something as simple as there's like little bubbles of fluid inside the synovial fluid in the joints, and those bubbles are popping. And sometimes it's just the muscle is tight, and you move the muscle, and it just kind of snaps or whatnot. So not all cracking is problematic. It's really if it's all the time. It sounds more like a rubbery grinding sound when it's really a bad arthritic joint. But normal cracking, I get that question a lot, and it's normal. It's safe.
But one of the things that you were saying earlier, Corey, is that sometimes x-rays will show one thing, but you're not even feeling any pain yet. So for someone who has cracking knees or finds something weird about, I don't know, their joints, wherever it might be, but they don't really have a lot of pain, is it worth going to get evaluated? Because the x-ray might show something more than what you're actually feeling, or should we wait until it's actually interfering with our life?
For me, when someone says to me, "Oh, I have pain in my knee, should I go get an x-ray?" My first couple of questions are, did you fall on it? Because an x-ray is going to be very good to help rule out any trauma. Is there a break, and then on a larger scale, are there tumors or something like that? Ruling out the big things, but just general pain like that, going for an x-ray again, there's a chance your x-ray is going to show that you have arthritis, but that's not clinically what's giving you the problem. And a lot of times people get told, oh, you have arthritis, and then the psychological component kicks in, and they go, oh, I've got arthritis, and then that increases their pain, and they go, oh, I can't move as much, and then their fearful of movement, and again, we get back into that cycle. So, I don't usually recommend. Usually we start with a clinical evaluation. We say, okay, is there stiffness in the knee? Is there a lack of range of motion? Is there a lack of strength? If there is, let's work on that. If after we work on all those things improve and the pain doesn't go away, well, okay, well then it's time to consult and go a little bit further. Maybe at that point it's time to go for an x-ray. But just because there's a little bit of pain or a little bit of cracking or something, I wouldn't jump right away and go get an x-ray. There's alternative ways to deal with the problem.
Now, you talk about pain, and I think, ways of handling this through your physiotherapy and so on, but I think we need to go back to basics sometimes. You talked about losing weight as one method of managing pain. What can people do without having to go to the extreme of surgery or physiotherapists? Are there basics that we can all do to help manage pain of arthritis?
Well, again, it's just finding the balance of activity and rest, because, like I said, you don't want to do too much and flare up any arthritic joint, but you also don't want to leave it to get stiff. So one of the things that I love to recommend is a stationary bike, or if you like being outside, a bike, because it's a non-impact way of getting some movement into the joints. It's a way to strengthen the muscles around the joints, and it's a way to get good cardiovascular, and that helps as well. I always, and that make my analogies towards cars. Think about an old car that you just don't move for a while. You let it move, the rust is going to build up and build up and build up, and it won't run as smoothly. You need to keep the car running. You need to keep going. You need to keep moving. And
I guess one of the ways, though, for people to figure this out is to actually see a professional, because you might push yourself too much and then end up having damage, and you don't want that. We have we have a caller coming in right now, and again, it's about the knees, but I'd like to take the call anyways, and maybe she has a question specific for you. On the phone, we have Florence, and she has a question about osteoarthritis in her knee. Hi, Florence. You're welcome,
Thank
Florence.
you,
What's
Florence.
going on with your knees, Florence? Okay, so now we're hearing those noises and a wonky heart. I liked your description of your heart problems, Florence, a wonky heart. So, Corey, Florence wants to know what she should do. She can't get surgery. Is it going to get worse? Is there anything that she can do when it's like bone on bone like that?
yeah, so Florence, thanks for the call. Thanks for the question. The Voltaren, I'm actually going to defer that to your pharmacist. That's a better question for them, not for us, or not for me specifically. But in terms of how to management, again, it's about finding out where are your limitations, what are you having trouble with, and then getting specific exercises and maybe activities to do that, again, will help create healthy and pain-free movement, but not aggravate the situation. Like Stephanie was saying before, get checked by a health professional before you start a new health or a new exercise regime. But again, someone like you, maybe a stationary bike would be something that would be a great idea. It's a low-impact way to get the joints moving. And if you don't already have a cane or a walker, that's another way to kind of take weight off the joints. And unfortunately, there is no long-term cure, but we can try and best manage it. And, speaking to your pharmacist and finding out which medications would help you best in conjunction with a good exercise program, with a physiotherapist or someone, that to me is a better global way of handling the problem. So.
All right, Florence, thank you for the call. The texts are coming in, Corey. We've got a lineup here. I'm going to get right to it. I suffer from bursitis and sciatica and osteoarthritis.
Wow.
Now we're going to get right into your specialty. Any suggestions for physio?
And
now,
she says here, I think a second text came in, Matt. It's the same woman. She's 55. So it's a 51-year-old female who's asking this question. Bursitis, sciatica, and osteoarthritis.
All right, so you got the trifecta.
Lucky her.
Yeah, so again, for the bursitis and the sciatica, you want to rest and you want to avoid aggravating activity. So sometimes what I ask people to do is keep a pain journal and write down, okay, these activities cause me pain, and after this amount of time of activity, that's what causes me pain. And then they'll see, oh, hey, when I do this, it actually relieves my pain. So because there's so much going on, it's hard to identify, okay, what is actually causing the pain? Is it the bursitis? Is it the sciatica? Is it the arthritis? Is it a combination of the three? At the end of the day, who cares which one it is? What activities are causing these flare-ups? Let's manage those activities. Let's kind of temper down the ones that cause pain, and let's promote the ones that, relieve pain. And then, again, maybe there's some specific exercises, maybe there's some specific treatments for you. And again, an ice pack and a heating pad never hurt. They always do the trick.
Yeah, but it sounds to me like you should really people should see a professional, because you can do a lot of different evaluations, maybe rule out, and maybe you would have some different suggestions. One of the exercises you're not mentioning, Corey, I'm assuming that swimming would be good, I guess, because there's no impact, or no, is that not good for people?
Swimming is a great low-impact exercise. I just tend to not suggest it because if no one's swam before in their life and they go, I'm going to start swimming because of my physiotherapist's opinion, I don't want to get into the hot water, so to speak. But swimming, yes, it's a very low impact. There are in community centers. There's one near where I live, and I have clients who've told me they go to these aqua fitness classes and they're in heated pools, and so you get the benefit of the warm water, you get the benefit of the moving in a gravity-free environment, exercises inside of water. That's an excellent option.
Okay, good.
I have a lot of clients that swear by aqua fitness, and it's low impact and
it's fun. It's fun, great way to get into shape, and again, it is low impact, great for the joints, great for those arthritis sufferers.
All right, Corey, our time is up already. This flew right by. So thank you very much. There's a lot of interest. And now, where can people reach you? Physio En Route is the name of the company, correct?
Physio En Route. You can visit us online at physioenroute.com. You can send me an email at info@physioenroute.com, or you can call or text like you've been texting into the show. The number is 514-949-6280. So I'm happy to answer questions. If you guys want to continue the conversation, visit us on Facebook at Physio En Route Inc.
Great, and all of those links are on our Life Unrehearsed Facebook page as well, so that's also an easy go.
And you'll go see people. You don't have to go.
We come to you. That's it. Physio En Route. We bring the clinic to you.
He's been to my house several times. Me, my husband, and my daughter.
That's it. So yeah, just give us a call. I'm happy to continue this conversation.
Well, thank you very much, Corey. All right, coming up next after the news, we'll be speaking with Dennis Bowden, Senior Vice President at TD Wealth, and he's going to provide some must-dos for financial management for the future. But first, let's head out to the CJAD newsroom.